All right, it says we're live.
Hey everybody, welcome to AKA Geeks. This is our Ready Player One review. I'm Sean. With me as always, I have Lynn.
What's up, everybody?
And we are going to break down, let you know what we thought about the movie Ready Player One. Um, let's just get right into it. Lynn, did you like this film or not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like this film. A lot.
Yeah, I liked it a lot too. I liked it a lot so much that I went and saw it again last night. And then
Yeah.
right after but the first show I watched it, I left right after the podcast,
Yeah.
and I made it with 3 minutes to go.
I told Susan about that, and I was saying, there's still that seat that I usually sit in, and this was on Thursday. And I said,
Uh,
I can go there now. And she was like, aren't you doing that for Avengers? Because I'm doing the fan appreciation one for Avengers. And I'm like, and then I'm making them go on Sunday with me again for Avengers. I said, yeah, but it's for me. I just want that for me. But
so,
I'm gonna see it a couple more times.
dude, let's go. I think there's gonna be two major things of this review that's gonna be very lopsided. Let's start off with the small one. What are the things you didn't like about the film?
Okay, one
Do you have
thing.
a lot? Do you
Yeah,
have a lot?
I have a couple. And this is
Okay.
me coming from the book as well as understanding why they did this. So it's
Okay.
not really a major dislike. It's just like
Okay.
I would have appreciated. Like one, his home life, Wade's home life should have been explored a little bit more, considering how much of a central key that is in the beginning of the book. You know,
That's something that I was thinking of as well. Is that they make the aunt play the battered wife syndrome instead of
right? Instead of
be,
what it really was.
where she's a bitch to him, using
Yeah,
him to get money and food and stuff like that.
right. He's just a check for her.
Yeah, in the book.
Yeah,
They kind of make her middle of the road, like battered woman. She can't leave the shithole. What do you call shit show? She
yeah,
can't leave the shit show, but then she's still kind of mean to him, but not really mean.
yeah. I think she was just and the whole dealing with bad boyfriends. I understand because you're trying to make Wade likable and understand that he has a bad background and why he goes into the Oasis. I understood why they did it, but
Yeah,
even if they would have kept his little origin a little bit closer to what the book had, it still would have worked. Obviously, because we both read the book, we both liked Wade as a character, how he was
yeah.
written. So, another thing I disliked was the Oasis was a lot bigger than what it was in this picture. The Oasis was practically what everybody was doing everything in. Their jobs, their education, everything was done through the Oasis. And in this, they just cheapened it down to a video game, like a World of Warcraft. Like, yeah, everybody's on it, and they come in whenever they please, but it wasn't like this major, part of the world infrastructure. The only one it was important to was IOI and the Big Bad. You know what I mean? And it was a more world scale thing, the Oasis was.
I
This made
think
it seem like it was only, you know, en-
I
encapsulated in game form only.
okay. Go keep going because I have some same line of thought kind of with you so
Yeah,
far.
because, everybody went to school in the Oasis, literary version of Oasis. In the film, you actually saw when the start of the competition was going on, everything was happening in the real world. Everybody had the lifted up desks with the monitors, and that could have been all Oasis done.
Well, you got to
And I
remember,
know they're trying to balance out
well,
real
in the
world and Oasis.
they still had school in the real world. They just also had a lot of people doing
No,
school. Yeah, they did.
no, because if you all his classes, as poor as Wade was in the room, he missed school. Everything
No,
was done through the Oasis.
he applied for to be going to school through the Oasis. They still had schools in real life, IRL. They still did.
Yeah, but nowhere near as the normal magnitude. It was, in other words, the Oasis encapsulated a lot more than it did in the film.
Okay,
It sort of was like cut down to a certain percentage,
okay, so you felt okay. Keep going.
and that's just to keep reality as the main focal point. Like, yeah, I and those are my two main focuses. that like really stuck out to me as an issue. It's just those two things. Everything else, the slight changes, I was okay with.
Okay. My things that are negative are really just actually nitpicky. Really.
Yeah.
I kind of feel I'm on the same kind of thought about Aunt Alice. It is like they really just they didn't make her as vile to him as they did in the book,
Mm-mm.
but at the same time they don't. In the book, you have however many hundreds of pages to build this, this relationship or whatever. So different from a book. Two, and that's the going theme with what my issues are, but they're nitpicky because I'm letting them go. The second thing, I to counter what you said about the Oasis being smaller, they do show what the Oasis is used for. It's just it's not. They don't spend a bunch of time on it because they show him going to the store buying the X1 haptic suit that he gets delivered in real person. It says
right,
if
right. And that's their way of Amazon shopping and stuff.
Yeah,
like
I know.
That.
That's what they're doing. They're showing you that it's, and then also you have the people ordering Pizza Hut at the beginning and doing and all that stuff. So I understand what you're saying, but I do feel that they did put some stuff in the movie to say, hey, look at we are doing our due diligence.
Yeah.
The one thing that I it's a nitpicky thing is when he's talking in the beginning and he talks about the Sixers, he says they're the Sixers, and he goes, they're called that because no name, no whatever. And I'm like, that's not why they're called that.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they just change the sentence to be exactly why they call them the Sixers?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, that's like a change from the book to the movie. But that was like, to me, it was like a needless change. It wasn't needed. Like, you could have easily said, okay, all their numbers start with 6.
Yeah.
So when they work for the man. And we Gunters have started to call them the Sixers. Like, that was super easy. They could have said that. So I don't know why they changed that in the dialogue. That's just a book to movie thing that I have issue. In the movie as a whole, I don't care. That's why they called him that. The other thing, and this is a book to movie thing again as well, and I understand that they did this probably to shorten the movie, is the third clue. The third clue, they get the third clue, and
well, I had issues with most of the clues, how they were played out.
Well, the third clue in specific, it was
3-tiered.
It was, well, the third clue in specific in the movie, they get the clue, and literally they lead you to believe it's been maybe days, but it happens in 2 minutes, and they're like, oh yeah, the Sixers already broke it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So
Yeah.
we didn't even explore the third clue. We didn't even explore the third clue at all, except for in like the epilogue at the end, kind of when he's talking about when he's playing the game. He's like, see, Halliday wants everybody play and be, they kind of explain it after the fact, but it's not like I can tell they probably did that for time in the film.
Yeah.
They probably cut down the film, and that was probably like another 5 to 10 minutes of them doing something.
The whole trial for the first key, which I was looking forward to mostly, which was the joust, playing the joust, and getting to that score, and I wanted to see that, and they completely switched that first key trial to something different. I understand, but at the same time, the top 5 automatically out of nowhere were friends just off of one call.
And that's the other thing is, so it actually, I'm okay with that change because you don't have the time. Like I said, it's something from a book where they meet over a long period of time. In the book, it takes place at least over a 6-month period, if not maybe longer.
Yeah, but the thing is, what I liked about what brought them together was not just them being the top 5, is that all of them experienced some type of loss because of IOI, and that whole little subplot is tossed in the garbage.
But here, this makes sense though. I'm okay with what they changed and how they knew each other already because of H knowing Wade, Parsival, knowing them already, them knowing each other, and
Which
because
was a given. that was fine.
And because H is so good, Daito and Sho are so good, they are now all connected
by through H.
Yeah, through H, they're all connected by association. So to me, I'm okay with that. Like that makes sense. Like if
No,
I
it
had
did. It did. It's just
really cool, and now I'm friends with his friends by association, it makes sense.
yeah.
So I'm cool with that. I didn't have any issues with that. My main three things, I guess, would be Alice being the battered woman syndrome instead of being a bitch to to Wade,
Yeah.
and like I said, nitpicky stuff. Really,
Yeah.
like why didn't they just accurately explain why they're called the Sixers?
Right.
And I wish they would have given us. And here's the thing: I just looked at the time for the film. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It does not feel like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
No. No.
And so I get that's probably why they cut that third clue down to 5 minutes total.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably totally why they did that, because right after, and now we're going into the positive stuff. Right after the third
before
clue,
we do that,
wait,
I was hoping you'd bring this up, but since it wasn't one of your, because when you mentioned nitpicky, the flip that they did with Artemis, making her being the indentured service at IOI, when
I'm fine with
as we know it, that's all Percival strategy. Him breaking out of the pod, him sneaking out, something that took weeks. It didn't happen right, as quick as it happens.
And
I'm okay with it. This is a nitpicky thing that I said.
This is a book to as long as you know that it's a book to movie thing that you're complaining about. I think we're not we're complaining about book to movie things that we're like, oh, we could have done this, a bit more of that, or a little less of that.
I liked what I was gonna say is I liked it because it gave her more meat.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, the only thing I disliked about it, it made her the princess that needs saving.
But she still did what she had to do. You know what I mean?
Right,
like she was there being badass.
But when she was stuck in there, she automatically became, oh, we got to go rescue her. And I think, considering how badass she is, it would have been the other way around. Those of us who know her character profile from the books, and they kept a lot of her profile intact in the movie, but I felt like that was a quick swerve, and she didn't need to be the princess.
I don't think she was a princess at all in that moment.
Well, I definitely got that.
No, you're saying that, but are you saying that just because she needs to be saved? Because if
automatically she needs to be saved.
But then even then, once they got in there and they're saving their friend, once they give her the opportunity to leave, she stays behind and does damage. So to me, it was like, I don't look at her as a helpless person. She's not helpless at all. That's not the tone I get from that at all. She's not helpless at all.
No, which is I'm grateful for her being able to do things on her own, but it's that whole little couple minutes where Wade say we have to get in there, blah blah blah, and when in actuality they didn't have to go anywhere. They should have just hunkered down somewhere a little bit more hidden and been able to do the exact same plan that they did from a more safe area. You know what I mean?
A lot of these negatives
are just nitpicks.
Are they're book to movie stuff, adaptation. It's not negatives about the movie, because honestly, I don't have any complaints about the movie at all. Like other than those nitpicky ones where I'm talking about where a line of dialogue, I don't have any complaints about the movie. The length of it was fine. The flow of the movie was fine with me. It went well. I was tired and I still saw the movie and I was perfectly fine throughout the whole movie. There was no issues for me acting wise. In fact, like somebody might go into this film and think, if you notice, every time somebody gets punched or kicked, it has like the sound effects don't sound like what we normally hear now in movie and TVs. But I think that's totally on purpose because it's back to 80s type of sound effects.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm like, I think that's kind of corny, but cool in a way, like corny, like cool corny. So I think the acting was well done. I think Ben Mendelsohn was a charismatic, like really interesting bad guy. I liked him. I didn't like the girl that they created, Finale. Her name. Finale. Yeah, she was a little over the top, but at the same time, it was okay, whatever. She didn't take away from the movie for me.
She didn't add anything either.
Yeah, she didn't add anything. She just kind of was there.
Yeah, she was the rest of him, because it should have been him doing all the work.
Yeah, she was half of the original character, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what I saw it.
Yeah, But like stuff when you have Mendelsohn on screen and he has the speaker and he's like coming off and playing it off, and like I just thought Ben Mendelsohn's acting was freaking awesome. I thought he did such a great job. Man, I pop open a tab, I put on Durant, play some Robobot. It's like
Robotron.
Robotron is. It's like his acting in that moment, like that kind of stuff throughout the film with him was great.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so tell me some of your things that you like about it. Some of the before we get into super Easter egg stuff, like just the basic movie stuff.
All right, can I say I'm happier than a pig in shit at the end of towards the finale when they're fighting on Planet Doom, and I was wondering if they were gonna do this because there was no mention of it whatsoever, but his bot that he uses, which in the book was of course Mechagodzilla, and the way they designed this Mechagodzilla off of the 1993 Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, but just more advanced looking, was so badass. That's number one, because I was so worried about his bot that they were gonna fucking cheapen it down to some, you know, obscure reference, and I'm so glad that they kept that, and that was like the biggest surprise for me out of the whole film. It was just that, because I was just waiting for that moment, and it was the only point that I was dreading that moment.
Yeah,
I was actually a little worried, because if they didn't put Mechagodzilla in there for me, I would be like, oh, that's so
honestly, I was really excited for the movie, like way far out, but I was also very worried that, like, even before the movie, I was very worried that they're gonna make the movie 290s and 2000s,
Yeah.
like have too much new stuff in there. Like they have Tracer from Overwatch, they had the new Ninja Turtles, you know, and I know this is a little bit of Easter egg stuff, but they had the new new Ninja Turtles. But then they still had some of the 80s stuff in there as well. So I thought it was a good balance. And with Mechagodzilla, when he popped that out, dude,
yeah,
right when he brought up his menu, I was like, he's getting Mechagodzilla. I started getting goosebumps.
And I like that if you look at it and you pay attention to it, they name it properly, because it says Kiryu, Mechagodzilla Kiryu, which is the actual name for the film. Which I was like, for me, was basically nerd out. And I wish I would have had Ronan there with me, because I went by myself, because I didn't want him, because there was a father and son next to me, and the kid just kept asking me, what's that? What is this? And I didn't want that. Ronan next to me.
So, if you do that at home, it'll be a lot easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was like, but I was actually wishing he was there with me, because he would have been like, oh.
How did you feel about the movie as a whole? The music, the acting, the relationships, the dialogue. Was it? You feel?
It's gonna sound corny, come from me, but actually, this movie, there are certain scenes, because of the sense of music they used at the right time, actually gave me a little bit of an emotional feel, and it had to do with anything that had to do with the creator of the Oasis, and like when he's there with his younger self. That whole conversation was like, "Are you really dead?" I'm like, I was like, "Oh my god!" It's like
the part towards the end when he was finishing the third challenge, that stuff, like, definitely on the second viewing definitely was more emotional to me. I think my first viewing I was so pumped that it didn't hit as hard as it should, but now that I was a little bit more aware of other things.
See, what I purposely did for myself is, I said, the first viewing, I was not focused on the Easter eggs. I was not looking for every little Tom, Dick, and Danny.
I didn't do that at all in the first viewing. I was just...
Yeah, I said to myself, I'm just going to focus on the story. I know what the story is. Let me shut off my book brain and just, like, focus on what it is for what it is. And halfway through, I was like, there were points that I got choked up, and it was just I don't know, it's because I'm the age that these guys who created everything are, and I grew up in that era, so it's like, you know, we were technically the first kids with consoles in our houses and the start of home PCs coming in, so it was all a wonderment. So I was like, oh yes, it gave me enough feelings and goosebumps that I could not ever complain about this movie.
So the acting, you liked all the stuff. The music was,
like I said, I had the same issues with the one actress, and that's it.
They and even then, like that, our issues with her was just, you didn't need her.
She could have been just the full whole of one character.
It could, yeah, it could have been Ben Mendelsohn, or it could have just been random thug number one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we all like that. I think the composer Alan Silvestri did a great job with this, and also putting all the with working with Steven Spielberg, being able to make all the music work properly and the little sound effects here and there. And by sound effects, I'm also talking about like little chimes and chirps that are music that we catch through the film, which we'll get to in a second. So I think they did a really good job with this. For not being John Williams, Alan Silvestri did the Avengers theme as well. He did great. Spielberg did great.
Listen, Alan Silvestri has done many of badass films, so let's not, disingenuine that not everybody has to be John Williams. He's never been John Williams, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, he did a great job with this one. I think we're both on the same page. We really love this one. I've already seen it twice. You've seen it once, and I want to go. I want to go see it again, to be honest with you.
Unfortunately, tomorrow's an early day for the kids, so I can't get it in. But the other days while they're away, I could sneak off to the theater and shirk my duties at home and just watch it a couple more times. So, but I plan on to it. I wish the pre-order was up for the freaking Blu-ray already, because I definitely want to get that 4K.
Would Susan like the movie? Would she be?
Oh, I told her I wish I would have taken them all with me.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start talking about like the more in-depth Easter egg stuff, where we like the movie. We got all that stuff out of the way. Easter egg stuff, some of the moments that we love from the film. Dude, like I said, I watched this now twice, and it didn't occur to me on the first viewing, the Zemeckis cube,
which was awesome.
And then the second time, I heard the
yeah,
and I was like, duh, Sean! Robert Zemeckis directed Back to the Future, go back in time 60 seconds. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, so you didn't get the meaning behind it. Okay.
No. I didn't hear the little music that put me over the top the second time.
Yeah, the start of Back to the Future.
Yeah, it was the little chime.
Yeah.
And the first time watching it, I was like, oh, that's cool. They changed the Rubik's Cube to Zemeckis Cube. And I didn't think anything about it. And then I was like, the second time, I was like, holy cow. It's a call to Robert Zemeckis, director.
And Alan Silvestri, who did the music for all three films.
For all of those. So I was like, that's freaking awesome. I love that part. That was awesome. Oh, before we go too far, IROC, T.J. Miller.
Yeah.
Did you like or dislike? I loved his character.
I loved his character. I just wish they would have given him more of the background of how Percival and H hated him. And they had him because he originally, book-wise, he's one of the Gunters,
and he's the one that sells them out. He goes to school with Wade.
Yeah,
I thought his timing though in this was really well.
Oh,
it was really
yeah, him complaining about his neck and everything.
You know what? I think I gotta go to physical therapy now. It's a whole thing.
But he was when it comes to sarcasm and just delivering, he was on point. I'm glad they didn't redo his voice with somebody else with all the issues he was having, because I think you were meant to dislike him, and I disliked him, so he got his point across. But at the same time, he was a goofy dislike.
It was a villain it's a villain. You know, they're a villain that you like the villain. You know, you're supposed to not like him, but I kind of liked what he did as a villain.
Well, and the fact that he's too stupid to do things on his own, so I
love the part at the end. He's like, "Whoa, man! I thought you were just, bluffing. Like I got 10 years worth of shit inside of me."
And I was actually hoping he pulls the switch. Like they could have swerved that, but they still kept him.
But I was happy I was happy that he got hit though with it. But I thought he did a great job. I just wanted to bring up his character one time. And what other moments? I want to go back to one after you tell me some of yours that we mentioned earlier.
You know, it's funny. I was thinking about it now, and it's like, I wish the Stacks would have been more of a character.
Okay.
Because in there, Wade has a neighbor who adores him, who treats him good.
Mrs. Gilmore.
Not in the film. I'm talking about the book.
Yeah, in the book. Yeah. In the film, I thought it was Mrs. Gilmore.
That's what I thought too, when they kept showing her, and the little snide remark she gave him.
She said, "Oh, life's pulling you down." And I thought that was the older lady that gives him breakfast and things like that.
That's who I thought.
That's more like his mother figure right now. And then when they showed her at the end, I was like, she didn't die. I was like, what?
Yeah,
In the
and
book,
she was in that row of buildings that
in
got
that,
taken down.
and she's too high up to not die,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I thought so maybe it wasn't the same character in the book
No,
as in
I figured it wasn't once they showed her because
yeah.
so I guess they condensed the aunt with that. But besides the point, um, the dance scene was awesome, and I'm talking about when they started to think, it was the love of his life, and they were doing the zombie dance. I really wanted him to break out the Thriller thing because I think that would have been a lot funnier.
Dude, the so you're talking about the when they're at the club, right?
Mm-hmm.
The globe. Yeah, that dance scene was really cool. And it was just like in the book. They crashed the party through the roof. Um, that was a cool looking club. Just kind of how not exactly how I imagine it. Like they shot the dance with the floating part off to the side a bit. I imagine that was you were in it around it like that, but it was pretty damn close to what I wanted
Yeah,
from
the
that.
only thing was missing was the other, co-founder of the Oasis playing DJ.
Yeah,
Because in the books he's
because
actually in there.
it's his birthday party.
Yeah.
And so that's one of those things where we have a 2 hour and 20 minute movie already. You can't put like stuff like that in there. That's why they had to go the different route. I mean, and Zach Penn wrote it with Ernest Cline and Steven Spielberg helping him, the screenplay. So they all had input in like what's the best way to avoid these these parts that are going to take longer time, you know. But tell me more of some of those moments that caught your attention.
I'm trying to bring up the race, how Wade figured it out, and he's watching. Oh my God, he's watching everything happen exactly like it happened to him the day before.
Okay,
and he's just watching everything. I'm like, oh, come
on.
I
swear, I think when he went under Godzilla knew that he's underneath there.
Yeah.
And Godzilla, he roars at the ground, so I'm pretty sure he's roaring at Wade.
You mean the T-Rex?
I mean, no, not Godzilla. I'm sorry.
Kong.
Kong. I'm talking about Kong. I'm sorry, not Godzilla.
Oh, you know what
Kong,
I was hoping? You know when Kong, when he first did the first race and he stopped, and he grabs Artemis and Kong comes up because he fell down below. Like when that happens as Wade is going through the race, I expected like Kong to be sitting there like yelling at him from a distance, and Wade to really shit his pants, and then suddenly out of nowhere Kong goes up to grab whoever's coming. And that's when the DeLorean goes through his legs. That would have been awesome. But I like the way it happened, nonetheless, because that was sick, man. In that nice green hue, watching it all go by after seeing it how it originally played out. That was awesome.
That was a good scene. Going back to the Mechagodzilla scene, like all the little callbacks they have in that fight scene. We'll get to them in a second. But when Mechagodzilla comes out. And then they finally get Daito to get on. He uses his glove thing, which in the book it's a pill or whatever, but he uses this to turn into any robot. And in the book he turns into They turn into Ultraman. Mm-hmm. But Ultraman is more specific anime.
Well, no, for one, they didn't get the rights to Ultraman, hence why they changed it. Gundam, the Gundam is in the book.
Yeah,
Gundam
but
was actually shows.
Yeah, but they didn't do the whole robot thing, so which is fine. But when he chose the Gundam and it came out and he did the classic pose in the air, dude, I'm not even a fan of Gundam, and I got freaking goosebumps all under. And then he lands and stops the stomp, and oh my God, that Gundam fight was freaking amazing. I thought that was so awesome.
And when the time is up and he's sitting in Mechagodzilla's hands.
Rips him off.
Yeah. Like, oh. See that, and I'm so glad that because this is another one thing that I'm glad they did change for the top 5, is that instead of him, actually dying like he does in the book, they keep him alive and he stays with the top 5 all the way through. I so appreciated that because Daito is shown together with the adopted kid brother and I loved Show. Real world Show. So what? I have to put a sign on myself that, hey, I'm 11 years old. Kick me.
Shoot me first. Yeah. In that scene, that whole battle scene, just seeing everybody work together. We see it in the trailer. You see the guys on the sidewalk doing martial arts, and the Ninja Turtles. They go to the Ninja Turtles doing the exact same movements that they're doing. Then you see the guys running down the street, and then it's the freaking Spartan. And
dude, the Terminator reference.
oh,
when he's got his thumb from the Iron Giant, and I'm like,
yeah, it goes through the lava.
Yeah, can I say?
Like, that's
first of all, when the Iron Giant hits, starts losing his fingers, and they put that sad face like they do in the actual animated film for Iron Giant, dude, I wanted to cry, because I'm looking at the Iron Giant realistically with that same sad face, and I'm like, no, you can't do that to me. And then seeing him go down, he's like, I'm like, oh man, because I don't care, Iron Giant. Anybody who watches it, if you don't pop feels for that, you're heartless.
Yeah, I've never seen it, so.
Oh, what the?
Iron Giant.
See, I should make that your homework, is to watch the Iron Giant.
That whole scene, Artemis already does to get back in the Oasis, to get to where Wade is at in his DeLorean. And they run out of ammo, and people are tossing them guns. They're like, and they say the names of the gun, and the rail gun, the anti-personnel gun, and then I love the part where they show him in the van, and H is like, "Hey, try this," and he catches it, and they go in there, and they show him catching Chucky.
Yeah,
he throws it to the guy at the best line of the freaking movie. The guy catches him, and it's fucking Chucky.
And all you hear is him laughing. And I think that was, I want to think that was the actual voice actor who played Chucky in the films. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
The laugh was dead on.
Oh, God, yeah. That was so hilarious when that happened.
Oh, dude, he took out a bunch of Sixers.
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off. I was rolling. Like, this is one of those movies, like, most recent memory, Spider-Man: Homecoming and Thor. Well, mostly, maybe not Spider-Man: Homecoming, yes, but Thor: Ragnarok. We got through Thor: Ragnarok, and you're just like freaking on a high of the movie, right? And this is how I was throughout this whole movie, a high on the movie. I've never seen The Shining, right? But that's from the, I've said this to you guys before. I don't like horror movies. I forced myself to watch horror movies in October, and that's about it.
But that was all psychology. Yeah,
but it's still horror. But that scene, everything looked amazing, and some of it looked like actual footage from the film. Am I right or no?
The girls, yeah. That whole hallway, the girls, the blood coming out of the elevator. That's straight rip recreation.
See, I knew about the blood. I knew about I knew about the girls and stuff like that. But like, it looked so amazing. I was like, this is an awesome scene, dude.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a play on the book when they have to go do the movie of is it Real Genius, or what was it? Not Real Genius. It's the one with Matthew Broderick, the one that he acts out in the first Key. Remember, he has to go in the book. He has to go to Halliday's house, and then has to participate in the movie and repeat the lines. I forget. It was It was the one with Matthew Broderick where he's the hacker.
It was War Games.
War Games. He had to do War Games, and so they did kind of the movie thing, but it was with The Shining.
Yeah.
And oh man, I loved the fact that they still kind of kept the ode to the book. Yeah. They changed it around a little bit, and that scene was awesome. Then you see all the Sixers.
I loved H's reaction. She's like, I never saw it.
Yeah, that's me right there. I was like, felt like I'm with you, H.
But at the same time, I was like, I'm glad because it gave H a way to find a clue. And I was like, okay, so she's not just a typical sidekick. I'm glad there's a sense of purpose. And I loved how they teased the fact that she actually had a crush on Wade. When she's talking about, don't let Artemis mess with your head. You think with your heart. You're falling for a girl you don't know, and all that. And she's using herself. Now, mind you, Wade never knew at this point still.
Now, you can go two ways with that, though, Lynn.
She was making it seem, and I'm talking about that conversation alone.
Yeah, I know.
It never gets bring up again.
They never bring up the fact that she's lesbian. They do in the book. They do bring it up in the book. They don't bring it up in the movie. And And so it's one of those things that it could be, yeah, she's best friends, and she also has
She
a
has a
thing for
slight thing for him, and
as well.
I think that it would have been funny if there was that one moment where she just breaks that wall and said, "Nah, I don't play that way," or something. Just to have
I'm
it
happy
wrapped up.
though. I'm happy they didn't go that route though.
Oh no, I agree, but at the same time, it left that little open. That's the only thing that didn't have closure
Well,
for
no,
me.
I think the closure was that they're just friends. They are best friends, and that's what I was happy about. Because I
Someone
was,
who, because the conversation was, your a partner or somebody should be someone
who finished your sentences?
exactly. And I'm
Yeah,
like, that's a
and
lot
so
more than
when that happened, I was thinking this. I was thinking exactly what we're talking about. I was like, I hope they don't try to turn her into a love interest.
yeah,
Because you and I know who she was,
yeah.
and we know who she is.
But they
But
teased
also,
that with that whole conversation was that her being
yeah,
jealous and say, hey, stick to what you're supposed to be thinking about. You stop thinking
but
with your heart.
but see, I was hoping they didn't go that way. You could also just take it as her trying to protect her best friend. And see, nobody knows it's a girl at that time. So there's
Nobody,
what
as far as the gunters and what have you, yeah.
so nobody if you don't read the book, that can go different ways for you.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I'm
and
just saying how anybody who's never done it and hears that line, they're gonna think that, because
yeah,
because there is not that closure that says, well, there's no worries, there's no love triangle.
yeah.
So
I don't think they need to like outward. I think they did fine with closing it.
I love the way all of them, as far as their separate storylines, ended up as far as ending together as a whole, because they were
Yeah.
single but they finished as a whole.
What'd you think of oh shoot, I was just about I totally lost my train of thought.
Simon
Oh
Pegg.
no, well, you can go there. I like Simon Pegg. I like how what they did with this movie, Steven Spielberg, and some of the references in the book, and brought some of those references in the real life people with Simon Pegg being referenced in the book.
I
With
never thought that he was, the curator.
I never thought so either. I was
'Cause
wondering at one point, is he ever gonna peek in and say, "Hi guys, I'm Og."
yeah, like I was waiting for Og somewhere.
I thought there was gonna be a scene somewhere in H's whatever, and he was gonna pop in. But when they went down the road of Og was completely pushed
There the
out of
whole
the
time.
company, when he was completely pushed out of the company, that was when I was like, okay, maybe we're not gonna get Simon Pegg at all,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
But
because I thought the same thing when they kept only showing him in the flashbacks and the reviews and everything like that. And I'm like, oh man, are they really downplaying him so much? Because he helps them so much stay in the lead. And I'm like, well, no, that can't be. It's like, because
he saves their lives, like literally, in real life. He doesn't allow them to get killed.
technically we don't see him till that end scene when he has the paperwork. But him playing off the curator, and then that quarter, I'm like, oh man, why did I pick that up?
That moment, like I knew it was coming both times I saw it. I think the first night I watched it on Thursday, there was a lot of people in the theater that read the book.
Yeah.
I think because it was like I think there was like an anticipation for it,
Yeah.
and so we were like happy and the Mecha Godzilla part, yeah. But when the second time I watched it Saturday, I think there was a lot more people that were just watching it because it's a Steven Spielberg movie. It looks cool, right? And people, let's go ahead. Let's rate this movie. Grade this movie. Let me know what your final thoughts are on it.
I'm breaking our grading system because I'm giving it an A++. And that's because of the childhood fanboy in me and everything that went along with this movie. This movie captured the book without a T, while at the same time being its own entity, and I can respect and appreciate both as their own entity, but at the same time, one lump thing. I'm looking forward, if it's true that Ernest Cline is writing a sequel now because of it, to see what he comes up out of this, how we're going to return to the Oasis.
I definitely think that, and we've spoken about this off air. I think that they could do another book, that he could have done a series of books with this.
Oh, he could, and
yeah.
but because of how the movie put out, and I think that's what's been his holdup. He's been working on this because Steven Spielberg has had the rights since the book released,
Yeah,
as we
20
discussed. So
something.
yeah, so this thing's been running for a while, so it makes sense for him to now give me an Armada film. That's all I gotta say, because that soundtrack would kick ass.
Yeah. On the side note, back of the book of Armada, there's a picture with the whole
The
list
whole
of the
layout of
of the
songs.
Raid the Arcade mix on. So I'm contemplating of going to try to download all those and have that as.
I already have it as one of my mixes in my iPod.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now for me, I don't want to be like the Olympics, but I guess I am like the Olympics.
Okay.
Like, it's gonna get the highest grade that I could probably ever give it, or anything, an A. I don't know if I've ever given anything an A plus. If I have, then this deserves whatever that was, the same equivalent. But this is like, it's a damn near perfect movie for me.
Yeah.
It's it hits all the bells, it hits all the points that keep you engaged. The relationships are good, like you said. It's different from the book. The book and this movie are their own things, but they are still connected in a way that they did magically. Like, they did it in a way that we're just nitpicking at things, like just trying to find something.
Yeah.
And they're not real issues because they still worked around it pretty well. So I don't know. I want to see this film again. This is one of my best times in the theater since probably Thor Ragnarok, and it's man, just grinning from ear to ear throughout the film, dude. Just so happy and just watching everything unfold in front of you. It's just awesome.
Now, I got a question for you. We know there's no end scenes or anything like that, but
Yeah.
did you just sit down and listen to the credits all the way through just for the music?
I sat down for a minute or two, and then I got up and left.
Okay, because I sat through the song that was playing when it played out, and then when it switched to the instrumental or orchestral type music that Sylvester is more known for. About halfway through that is when I started to get up, but I still walked slowly.
Yeah.
So,
did you notice in the film, because I don't recall them playing Rush.
No, it wasn't in the film.
It wasn't in the film, but from one of the book, there's the thing where he has to do the Rush, play the chords, the guitar and everything.
Yeah.
They have the poster for that album that
what's his name's wall?
Rush 212.
2112.
21, is it 1-1?
2112.
2112. 21, yeah, 2112. Yeah. And they had that poster on the wall, so at least there was a little callback to that right there.
Yeah. Because Rush plays an important part
in the book.
In the book, yeah, because it's the creator's favorite band of all time. It's who he listened to the most. So.
Yeah. All right, so it's safe to say we both love the film. We both want to see it again. We both recommend that you go see it. It's
see it in the biggest screen possible.
Oh,
if you see this in a generic movie theater, you're wasting time and money. This has to be done in either a real 3D scene, Dolby, and especially IMAX if you can afford it. Go see it on IMAX. It's worth it.
I saw it in by accident. I saw it in 3D on Thursday.
Yeah.
And I don't like watching 3D because I have to wear glasses. This time I just decided I took my glasses off and just wore 3D.
Yeah.
So some of the fine, minute details I wasn't able to catch when I watched it yesterday. It was regular, so I wore my glasses. Excuse me. And I saw some of the minute details that I missed before. And yeah, I want to see it in IMAX 2D.
Yeah.
And see, see how that goes. So. Yeah, that wraps it up for us. I know we probably forgot some of the Easter eggs that caught your...
I'm glad we didn't go into the Easter eggs because 1,000 other people are going to have lists of Easter eggs.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we talked about the ones that we like.
Yes.
And there's more that we like, but we're not going to talk about them all because we're going to be here forever.
Oh,
and we got
one quick one. Look for Lone Star ship from Spaceballs. H has it in her garage. Awesome way to keep Star Wars in there without actually having Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it for this one, you guys. You both like the film, go check it out. Check us out on our YouTube as well as our Twitter, and go check us out when we have the podcast. It's going to be Thursday. We're going to have the Walking Dead review on Tuesday. Lynn, anything else you'd like to say?
Just make sure you guys pay attention that Walking Dead's going to be a little bit later.
Yes.
Working on timing with Sean, but nonetheless, everything should be flow, and we're good to go.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us, you guys. For Lynn and myself, we thank you, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.